Greetings everybody, I'm Mega Beatman, and today we will be playing a new Zelda game. Well, actually it's an old Zelda game. In fact, it's one of the oldest 3D Zelda games in existence, the oldest 3D Zelda game in existence, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Originally released in 1998 for the Nintendo 64, and believe me, to this day is one of the best Zelda games ever out there. And to be honest, and to be biased, this is my favorite Zelda game of all time. I am not joking. It has a fantastic story. It pretty much sucks you into the world. And yeah. Oh, and this music you're hearing right here, the beginning riff is actually the theme to the warp whistle that you use in past Zelda games. So yeah. Ocarina of Time here pretty much establishes many of the things that are, well, that will continue on in further 3D games. So yeah. Right now I am naming my character Link, because, well, that's the name of the hero. And it'd be weird to name him Billy or Joey or something like that. So yeah. Alright, after you name your Link, let's get started, shall we? And yeah. Those numbers right there, well, I'll explain it later. Enjoy this cutscene. Wow, what an opening. Wow. And, oh my god, was that voice acting? Well, yes and no. I mean, we get some simple words like hello or hey, and listen, and all, and mainly people grunts and groans and all that. So yeah. Well, folks, meet Link. And he is a brand new Link, a different Link. And if you are counting from like release date order, this is the third Link that we will encounter in the game series. Now, I don't know why they keep changing Links. I mean, well, your guess is as good as mine, but hey. Anyway, Link here is introduced to a fairy companion. Her name is Navi, as you pretty much know by now. And Navi serves a very important role in this game. And I'll show you in this video, actually. So yeah, this is Link's home right here. And he lives in Kokiri Forest. This pretty much is a home for these little kids known as the Kokiri. And these kids are pretty much forest kids that have fairy companions. And this one with the green hair, her name is Saria. Now, Saria here is Link's best friend. In fact, I believe she is Link's only friend. I mean, the other kids of the Kokiri tolerate Link, and that's because for most of his life, well, practically for all of his life, Link never had a fairy, while the rest of the Kokiri kids did. And, well, he pretty much gets teased for not having a fairy, you know? You know, it's kind of like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, how he had a red nose and people keep teasing him because of it. So, yeah. Now, of course, the main of the Kokiri kids will be happy that Link finally has a fairy and all that stuff. So, yeah. Okay, how's your father? How did he give you life? How did a big tree give life to a flesh and blood humanoid? How's that work? Well, let's assume a wizard did it or anything. Alright. Now, this is one of the things that will pop up occasionally. Navi here will pop up with a little message saying, "Hey!" And then, of course, you have to respond by pressing the upper C stick on your controller, and she'll blurt out things that you pretty much already know, and you're going to get this a lot in the game. Alright, folks, meet Mido. Mido here is pretty much the only Kokiri who flat out hates Link. I mean, he's been treating Link like crap. I mean, he's the unofficial, or the leader of the Kokiri kids, and because of him pretty much of Link having no fairy, he pretty much bullies him. And another reason he tries to bully Link, or does bully Link, is because Mido likes Saria. However, as we will later find out, Saria actually likes Link. So, got a little love triangle going on here. So, yeah. And of course, right here, we cannot pass by Mido until we get a sword and a shield. So, yeah. Can't go any further until we are properly equipped. So now to get the sword and shield, we have to go to a place to get the sword, and we have to gather rupees. Yes, they're back, and we have to gather at least 40 of them to get the shield, because we have to buy the shield. Blech. Anyway, folks. This little area is pretty much to introduce us to the new 3D control scheme of Zelda, because, you know, in the past Zelda games, you assign items to Link. It's like, with the exception of Link 2, Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link, Link's adventures have been pretty much a overhead 2D map with Link going up, down, and using your B button to swack items, and assigning, like, special items like the boomerang or the hook shot to, like, X or something. So, yeah. Here, we have 3 yellow button slots up there on the top right corner, and those are pretty much your weapons or item area. You equip the weapon or item in that area, and when you press that button, you will be able to use said weapon and item. Alright. And of course, Navi here is pretty much a play on the word navigate, navigation, navigator. And the reason is because she will home in on certain items of importance, like that sign that I just passed, home in on certain people, and hone in on enemies. And this introduces us to a new system. This system is called Z targeting. Yeah, sorry. Basically, what you want to do is hit the Z button, and it will focus your vision. It will pretty much have the camera zoom in on the direction like right there. Have the camera like zoom in, make sure you're facing the frontward so you can see where you're going, and you can move a certain way, like move to the left or to the right. You can cut across corners like so right here, and we need to do so to get by this boulder right here. So when we get to this area, we're going to get to this treasure chest right here, and inside this treasure chest will be our sword, the Kokiri sword. Yay. And of course, now that we have the sword, we can actually do a little practicing with it. And when you do certain moves with the Kokiri sword while practicing, you'll actually gain some rupees. So that's nice. Now, of course, it says we're going to borrow it for a little while, but for a little while we meet all throughout this game in Majora's Mask. So, yeah. So go to the item menu screen, go to the equipment sub-screen, and equip the sword, and yeah, you'll be ready to go. As we can see here, I have no items yet, but we will get items. And as you notice here, if you press the B button while in the item menu screen, you can save the game at any point. Now, when you save the game at any point, when you restart a new game, you'll actually start back at Link's house here in Kokiri Forest and have to backtrack all the way to where you were before you saved. And also, there is another place we'll end up when we save, but I'll reveal it later. So yeah, attack buttons B. Oh, here when you see these little holes right here, press like this blue button. That's the A button. That's the action icon. When it says like crawl or something, you get into that hole, or in that, and also when Navi like gets over here to this person and the action icon says speak, press the A button and you'll speak to said person. So yeah, he's pretty much telling us what we can do with Z targeting, because Z targeting helps us focus on items or objects, and when Navi pretty much hovers over them, and we can use this to actually attack enemies one-on-one, and it is a great fighting system. See? This is me Z targeting someone, and me actually Z targeting this rock, and see how more focused I am? And yeah, this is going to be a great function as I go through the game. In fact, this function will remain throughout most of the 3D Zelda games. Now, they've changed it up since Skyward Sword, but yeah, but by that time, it's the same system, the whole Z targeting, or later on L targeting for the GameCube games. It's become pretty stale, but yeah, around this time, it's pretty much a fresh thing, so yeah. So yeah, what I'm doing now is I'm cutting grass and cutting a sign, but what I'm doing here is when I cut grass here, we can get rupees this way. And again, we have to get 40 rupees, so we can do a variety of tasks by... See? I get rupees by cutting down a sign. This wow. So yeah. Now, back in the menu... Oh, here, it'll let you practice the whole picking up objects and throwing them. So he pretty much says, stand next to a rock, hit the when the action button says grab, you grab it, and then when it says throw, you throw. So yeah. Well, getting back to the file select screen, those numbers that say 000, well, in the Link to the Past, at the end of the game, it will show you how many times you've actually died. Yeah, it will show you how much you've actually died and display how much you suck. But at least Link to the Past had the courtesy to show you at the end of the game. In Ocarina of Time, it pretty much says that zero thing, it's also a death count, and if you die in the game at any point, that count will increase and it will stay with you on that sub-screen. So the game's pretty much telling you how much you suck every time you load your save file. But fortunately, well, with the exception of me first playing this game all the way back a long time ago, blah 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 blah, I don't die in this game. In fact, I take steps to prevent my death, as you'll see later on in this playthrough. Alright. So yeah, as you can see here, being a 3D game is a lot more complicated than moving from quadrant to quadrant, going up and down the little square grids, and so yeah. Now if you go up here to this little bridge area, you'll meet this blonde-haired Kokiri kid, and get the rest of the money we need for the Deku Shield. And she'll explain to us if we tap the upper C button, or C stick if you're playing on the GameCube controller, we can get a first-person view of the immediate area. So let's try it. See? And it will help us focus on which direction Link needs to face. So yeah. Oh, and by the way, yeah, if you're playing a port of this game, and if you're using the GameCube controller, it will pretty much be L targeting, just like in Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, the GameCube version, that is. Now, of course, this is another function of Z targeting. Navi will fly over to an individual, Z target that person, and we can talk to that person from a certain distance. So yeah, Navi will. That's pretty much the Z targeting in a nutshell. Navi will point to items or objects or people or enemies, and we press the Z or L button to focus on them so we can talk, attack, gather, whatever. So anyway, let's go get our shield, shall we? Of course, this Kokiri kid here says that the stuff that we buy here we can actually find free in the forest. Wow. And that's pretty much a fact, folks. We can find things in the shop in the grass and area, except for the Deku Shield, actually. So we're gonna go buy it right now. And what she just did was explain to us how it works. Now, in the 2D Zelda games, we didn't have the option to like properly grasp a shield. I mean, basically the shield was out, and if you're lucky, the enemies will. Arrows or anything will bounce off that little plate. Here, in the 3D games, we have to use the R button as explained, and to pretty much raise our shield to block enemy attacks. And of course, go back to the equipment subscreen to equip said shield so we can use it. Alright, we got our sword and shield. So when we draw out our sword, as you can see here, if you press the Z targeting button, Link can move around. He'll have his shield up, standing by to block from enemy attacks, and yeah. Alright, now that we have our equipment, let's talk to Mido again. And of course, I have the required equipment, you big jerk, or little jerk, actually. Hey, come to think of it, isn't Link a little bit taller? Huh. Yeah. Well, hey, I'm at least a little bigger than you. I can pretty much kick your butt. And of course we see that, again, Mido is jealous because he wants to be the favorite. He wants to be the favorite of the Great Deku Tree, or Saria. Alright, let's go down this path right here, and we are introduced to our first enemy of the game. Now these are Deku Babas. These are Venus flytrap things that remind me of Audrey 2. Well, these ones, they'll just stick right up, and they're there for intimidation unless you directly walk into them. So yeah. And when we kill these things, we are presented with Deku sticks. Now I've jump cut here because I wanted to gather 10 Deku sticks, and that's the maximum I can carry at this time. So. Yeah, and we're going to need Deku sticks for the upcoming area we're going to explore. So yeah, Navi brings a Link back to the Deku Tree. And of course, the Deku Tree speaks in ye old English for some reason. Of course, it's supposed to be based on medieval fantasy, so yeah. Huh. Anyway, he knows that Link's been having nightmares, and of course, the Deku Tree says that there is darkness coming up, and well, Link has felt it. And the story here is that the Deku Tree has been cursed, and he wants Link to break the curse. And he wants to be sure that Link is brave enough to face the danger. And yeah, so this is pretty much a test, folks. And he's pretty much giving us access to the first dungeon of the game. Yeah, the Deku Tree itself is the first dungeon of the games. So let's do this, folks. So in the next video, we will start our first dungeon and see if we can help the Great Deku Tree. See ya!